Nothing hits quite like a good bad movie, and I've been in a bit of a zombie mood lately, so today we're going to be taking a look at 3 bad zombie movies. Despite them being terrible, I did enjoy watching all 3 of these, and if you enjoy watching along with me, then don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on the next movies that we talk about. But without further ado, let's watch some garbage. The Video Dead is all about a cursed TV. While the owner is sleeping, the television sparks to life and a zombie crawls out of it. So now we've got this fun little concept about a haunted TV that can bring its programs to life. I sure hope that they don't completely waste the potential of this and make it so that only zombies actually come out of it, and only once. That sure would be a shame, wouldn't it? That would be a shame, yeah. Well, 2 delivery guys show up at the house a little bit later saying that they accidentally delivered a package here, so they need to get it back, and the package turns out to be the TV.
What I'm wondering is, what the hell did we deliver to the Institute for the Studies of the Occult?
When they open the door, they see the owner's corpse is all dressed up and he's got a party hat on for some reason. It's never explained why, we never see anything like this again, but I guess he partied before he died. 3 months pass and a family has bought this house now and they're getting ready to move in. For some reason, only the kids show up to the house, and they plan to live there for a few weeks before their parents ever move in with them. It's not really ever explained why, but that's the situation. The parents aren't going to be around to bail them out. That's really what it comes down to. The older sister is named Zoe, and she's just getting ready for college.
What's your major?
Aerobics.
I'm almost afraid to ask you what your minor is.
Music videos.
And the younger brother is named Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
Later that day, a cowboy dude shows up and asks about the TV, and I can't for the life of me remember this guy's name, so I'm just gonna call him Cowboy, and we're gonna leave it at that. Jeff thinks Cowboy's crazy, so he politely sends him on his way with this banger of an excuse.
I forgot to brush my teeth, so I gotta go. Bye.
Damn fool.
The last character that we meet is this kind of love interest for Jeff. It's this neighbor named April. While she's walking her dog, April meets Jeff, and they hit it off immediately.
I love animals.
Me too, but I don't count poodles as animals.
Funny you should say that. I hate poodles too.
April's dog gets loose and runs into the woods where it finds a zombie and...
Oh no! What? There!
To help cover for April, for some reason, Jeff shows that he's a complete psychopath with his planned excuse for how the dog died.
Hey, I've got it.
You do?
The dog swallowed a ball.
All we have to do is push the ball down the dog's throat.
They'll never know the difference.
That is really sick.
April leaves, and that night Jeff hears the TV calling to him, and he watches a show of a sexy lady while he's smoking a little bit of that good. You know what I'm saying? The stinky dink. He's smoking weed. He's smoking weed. The lady then comes to life before being sucked back into the TV, where she's killed by this dude who's in the TV.
They call me the garbage man. I dispose of human garbage.
The garbage man tells Jeff all about the TV and the zombies, and he tells them that mirrors are the only weakness that the zombies seem to have. Jeff then grabs a mirror and struggles for far too long on finding the end of some tape. His struggles give time for a zombie arm to come out of the TV and grab him, but then Jeff uses his handy-dandy toolbox hatchet to cut off the hand, which gives him enough time to tape the mirror onto the TV and stop anything else from coming out of it. And then we don't see the TV again until the very last scene of the movie, so there's all that potential perfectly wasted. The zombies from the woods then stumble into April's house, and they're just goofy as they go through all the family's belongings. April's parents hear the commotion downstairs, but when they try to confront the intruders, both of the parents are killed, and then April finds them and she screams. And then April goes over to Jeff's house, because why wouldn't you go over to this random dude's house that you just met the day before when your parents die? That's, that's common logic at that point. Anyway, Cowboy also comes back over, and now Jeff believes him because he's actually seen that the TV is evil, so the gang is all together for about 2 minutes until April decides that she wants to take a sad bath. But while she's getting the water ready, one of the zombies stumbles in. I love the hard cut here to April just being passed out. April gets kidnapped, and Jeff and Cowboy head out into the woods to try and save her. Oh, and Cowboy tells us that the zombies can only be killed by dismemberment or by being trapped in a place that they can't get out, because then they'll eat each other alive. And he's wrong on both of those. He says it like he's an expert, like he's done this before. Neither of these work, at least not in the way that he says that they're going to work, but let's keep going. The two mighty hunters set up a trap using Jeff as bait, but then Cowboy falls asleep and the zombies attack, and Jeff drops his chainsaw, so now they've got a chainsaw zombie to deal with on top of everything else.
My all-time, absolute all-time favorite horror movie is the
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I've seen it 6 times.
Cowboy finally wakes up, and he's able to kill all the zombies except for the chainsaw zombie, but he's able to scare her off with her own reflection. He gets Jeff down, and then they run after the chainsaw zombie, but apparently she's kinda smart, and she set a trap for them, and while their backs are turned, she stabs Cowboy with an arrow and kills him. So, Jeff runs away, and he finds a shack that has April's dead body inside of it, and then the chainsaw zombie hunts him down, and they charge at each other, and Jeff cuts the zombie's head off, but she stabs him with the chainsaw, and they both die.
My all-time, absolute all-time favorite horror movie is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've seen it 6 times.
So, in the course of about 2 minutes, 3 of the 4 characters that we've met die and take out all the zombies with them. Except that all the zombies are actually just fine, because apparently Cowboy has no idea what he was talking about, because all the zombies just come back to life. They're all fine and dandy after just a couple of minutes. So of course, 3 down, 1 to go, the zombies go after Zoe now. Zoe hides out for a bit, but then she remembers also something I forgot to say earlier. Cowboy said that the zombies will only attack people who are afraid, so she just pretends to not be afraid of the zombies anymore. She invites the zombies in, and they have dinner and drinks together. Now I bet you didn't think that Zoe's college major was going to come back into play, now did ya? Well, it kind of totally does for like a second. Because the zombies find her college book, and Zoe comes up with this devious plan because she remembers what Cowboy said earlier.
Only 2 ways of doing them in, at least as far as I know. First is to trap them in a place from which there's absolutely no escape. Then they go crazy, eat themselves.
She says that she can teach all of the zombies how to dance, but it'll be better if they do it in the basement. They all go down into the basement, and then Zoe rushes back up the stairs and shuts the door and traps all the zombies inside. And I thought that the zombies would just slowly start eating each other, because that's what Cowboy said would happen. But no, the zombies' skin immediately just starts to bubble, and then they explode into goop and get sucked back into the TV. We then cut to a mental hospital and see that Zoe is now a patient here. Her parents come to visit, and they leave her with a gift, which turns out to be the TV, and she screams, and the movie ends. That's the end of The Video Dead. For its fun but completely wasted concept and terrible acting and travesty of a sink, I'm gonna give The Video Dead 1 out of 5 brains. Although it did have some fun practical effects and makeup, and I do love when April passed out. So, bonus brain! Bonus brain, 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 bonus brain. 2 out of 5 brains. The next movie that we're going to be talking about is called Uncle Sam. Now this one gives zombies a patriotic twist. A soldier named Sam dies while in Desert Storm. His body is shipped home, where we follow Sam's nephew, a boy named Jody. We also follow Jody's mother and his aunt, but for over half the movie, I thought that they were the same character, and they're each also dating someone, but I thought that the person they're dating was also the same character. I haven't been sleeping well. Alright? That's my bad. Jody loved his uncle, and now he wants to be a soldier when he grows up. He also loves America, and he hates people who hate America. A few important random details that are kind of sprinkled around before the movie really gets going will be summarized right now. Jodie's teacher is a draft dodger, Jodie's mom's boyfriend is anti-government, and he's also portraying Abe Lincoln in the upcoming 4th of July parade, and there's an old war buddy of Sam's named Sergeant Crowley, who lost his leg in the war, and he regrets glorifying war in his old stories that he used to tell to Jodie. Oh, and Crowley also shares a story that Sam loved violence and killing even before he became a soldier, so he's always been a pretty violent guy. So one night some hooligans are burning a flag in a cemetery, and the energy of anti-patriotism causes Sam to wake up from the dead. We see this dude dressed as Uncle Sam taking full advantage of his stilts to perv out on a girl, and perving is definitely not patriotic. So the undead Sam decides to hunt the stilts man down. He kills the tall boy and takes the costume for himself. He also gives this one-liner.
I hope you got an eyeful.
He also never gives another one-liner after this, so there you go, enjoy that one. All dressed in his new duds, Sam heads into the cemetery, and he buries one of the hooligans alive and strings the other one up a flagpole, but the third hooligan had to leave before Sam even got there, so there's a little bit of unfinished business for tomorrow. The next day is the 4th of July, and Sergeant Crowley shows it off by shooting his cannon first thing in the morning. We don't see the parade at all, but we do see Jodie's teacher get killed while looking for an axe to finish off his George Washington costume. The third hooligan boy is chosen to sing the national anthem at the city gathering that evening, but he's a little jokey guy, so, you know, that goes about how you'd expect.
What's up, they will at the twilight.
Sam goes absolutely buck wild at this gathering. He kills Abe Lincoln, and he cuts off this cop dude's head and shoves it into a smoker. He causes a politician guy to get burned alive, and then he hunts down the third and final hooligan boy. Oh, also, suddenly this blind and burnt kid becomes really important for some reason. It's never directly stated what happened to him, but from what I could gather, he was burned by fireworks at the 4th of July celebration the year before, and Sam likes this boy for some reason, and he says that he's killing all of these people for him. And the boy has some unexplained connection to Sam, I think. Like, he says a few times that he knows what's going on, and he seems to understand when people die. Nothing about this boy is ever really explained. Jodie and the wheelchair kid somehow convince Sergeant Crowley that Sam is back, and that he's the one that's been killing all of these people. So they head to Jodie's house.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out.
Sam ambushes Sergeant Crowley.
You may be into this.
Jodie tells Crowley to go and get his cannon while he distracts his uncle, and it absolutely killed me because Crowley leaves the wheelchair kid just all by himself on the side of the road. Like, this kid really, he's got no reason to be in this movie. It's so funny. Crowley comes back and they shoot Uncle Sam with a cannon twice, and that does it. He's dead again, and the house is completely destroyed, and now Jodie hates war or America or maybe both, and that's the end. I thought Uncle Sam was alright. It's a heavily themed movie, and they fully lean into that theme, which I really did appreciate. The acting was fine, and the effects were also fine. I like the creepy Uncle Sam suit, and the movie definitely knew what kind of movie it was. Like, they knew that it was pretty ridiculous, and they didn't shy away from it, so they were just free to be silly and kind of stupid. All in all, 3 out of 5 brains. Next one on the list, and the last one for this video, is Doom Asylum. So, listen, I lied to you. This one isn't actually a zombie movie. The antagonist is actually a millionaire lawyer who was wrongfully pronounced dead, but he's secretly alive even though he looks like this. The movie starts with this dude's origins. He gets into a car crash with the love of his life and she dies. He's then taken to the morgue where he's pronounced dead, but he's actually not dead, he's actually alive, and he kills the mortician. And then a few years pass by and the hospital is now completely abandoned, and I guess he's just been living here the whole time and just killing people who come by. And then, oh, also the cry sound from the witch from Left 4 Dead plays during the opening title. A group of teens are on a road trip to this abandoned hospital just to hang out, I guess. And to go over them really quick, we've got Kiki, who's actually the daughter of the woman that died in the intro. We've got Mike, who is Kiki's boyfriend, and she gives him a cute little nickname.
Can I call you Mom?
So, Mike is Mom for the rest of the movie. Multiple characters call him Mom, it's not just Kiki. I call him Mom a couple times in the script. I call him Mike too, whatever. He's Mike and he's Mom. And then we've got Jane, whose parents are psychiatrists, so she's really smart. And we've got Dennis, who loves baseball cards. And we've got Darnell, whose character is just about being horny and sassy. And that's the gang. When they get to the hospital, a local band called Tina and the Tots are rocking out. Darnell sneaks in and unplugs the band's amps, so they start off on the wrong foot just right away. And while he's leaving, Darnell sees the drummer, and they go into a full-blown fantasy of them running into each other's arms. And Darnell declares that this is love at first sight. Also, I didn't understand a single thing that this girl said.
A man who has forgotten the battle of his own people. One who has assimilated to the terror of modern imperialism.
Darnell decides that he wants to go and talk to the drummer, and he has another fantasy, but this time things go even better for him. As he's making his way to the roof where the band is hanging out now, he runs into the dead but not dead lawyer guy.
I hate rap music, and don't call me honey.
Tina and the Tots throw water balloons at the others who are sunbathing below, and Mike decides that he should go up and confront the band. He and Tina get into a full-on brawl while the drummer keeps fantasizing about the now dead Darnell.
Darnell! Damn, sounds like music.
The girl that I can't understand at all starts vandalizing the bathroom, and then she gets grabbed and her head gets dunked into acid and she dies too. And then while all of this is going on, Dennis loses a baseball card and he chases it into the hospital, and then he instantly runs into the not dead lawyer and gets drilled in the head. Like, this lawyer dude is just, he's teleporting around the hospital. That's kind of a theme that this movie did, is you never know where the bad guy is because he's always kind of just everywhere, and I guess just accept it. Tina throws Mom off of the roof, and he's barely hanging on, so that's all just this excuse to get Jane and Kiki now into the hospital now too. Also, the drummer decides that she doesn't want to wait for Darnell anymore, so she heads inside to find the love of her life. She opens the bathroom door to find what's-her-face's head hanging upside down, and then the lawyer sneaks up behind her and chokes the drummer to death with a stethoscope.
Sorry, baby, but I already got a girl.
Mom hears someone scream from inside, so the power of love causes him to jump right back up from the roof and rush inside, and Tina's also kind of behind him. She's not really chasing him, she's just also heading inside to find out what's going on. Mom finds Jane and Kiki, while Tina goes off looking for her bandmates. Jane, for some strange reason, decides to split from the group, and she runs into Tina, but they just argue, and then Jane stomps off, and then Jane walks right into the not dead lawyer as he raises a bone saw at her, but instead of running away, she decides that he must just be a delusion, so she tries to confront him and says that he's not real, and then she gets sawed in the face and she dies. Tina hears the commotion of Jane's death and she finds the death scene, but fortunately for her, Mike is just down the hall, and when he calls out, the lawyer guy just runs away, so Tina gets to live another day. Mike does see the dead Jane, and he blames Tina for this, and we get the best line in the movie.
You're in a lot of trouble, Torpedo Tits! I'm gonna get you for this!
Tina is eventually able to convince Mike that she didn't do this, and then Kiki screams, and Mike goes running off again, and he finds Kiki, and he tells her that all of her friends are dead, and she freaks out. Tina then finds all of her dead bandmates, and then we hard cut to see Mike and Kiki are in the chapel now, and they're saying a prayer for their dead friends, you know, because what else would you do in this situation, I guess?
And I'd just like to add, God, that if we make it through this, I'll give you anything you want. Money, sex, a charge card at Bloomies,
Amen.
The lawyer guy gets a syringe full of anesthesia prepped, and he stabs it into Mike's neck.
Relax and go with the flow.
He then grabs Kiki as well, and he ties them both up in an autopsy room.
And now, for what we've all been waiting for.
He cuts off a few of Mike's toes, but don't worry because Tina's here.
Okay, sucker, let's do it!
The undead lawyer grabs an axe, and the duel of the fates begins. Tina ends up winning the fight, and she unties Kiki, but then she turns weird, and she ends up flipping the switch on this weird machine, and it drags Tina up inside of it, and it turns her into a flesh cube. I have no idea what this machine would be used for, like, ever, but there you go, it's the human cuber. Now, there you go. Now Kiki is all that remains because Mike is passed out, or maybe he's dead, we never know. We have no idea how bad his foot-related injuries were. He's not in the movie ever again. They're like, we're almost done. We're almost to the end of this one. And Mike is gone now. But Kiki runs off, and the not dead guy chases after her. And he ends up cornering her, and it turns out that Kiki looks a lot like her mother did. So the lawyer dude just starts hitting on her, and he says that, I killed all these people for you, I did it for you, and it doesn't make sense. And then Kiki kicks him in the place that the sun don't shine. You know, right in the gonads, right in the balls. There's something with the newspaper, and then Kiki gets sympathetic for a second, and then her mood just shifts entirely within, like, a jump cut. And she picks up a mirror, and she stabs the lawyer guy, and then he dies. And Kiki walks off in the distance, and she probably dies down the road. She's walking in her heels still. Like, I don't know, man. That's the end. The end of the movie. I will say Doom Asylum felt pretty half-baked. Like, one thing that I didn't mention was they constantly cut over to these old movies, and they say that the killer is watching them, but they have no reason to be shown other than to pad the movie's time a bit. And it also added to, like, him teleporting, because all of a sudden he would be in this weird underground tunnel basement area watching an old movie, and then he's right back up on the top floor, like within the span of 30 seconds in movie time. So it was a pretty bad aspect of the film for sure. I did love how stupid and over the top all of the characters were, and I think that the practical effect work was actually pretty decent in this one. I'd say it's a solid 2 out of 5 brains, with a bonus half brain for this line alone.
You're in a lot of trouble, Torpedo Tits. I'm gonna get you for this.
So there you go. There's 3 bad zombie movies, or I guess like 2 bad zombie movies and a lie. But the lie had zombie vibes. You can't deny it. It had zombie vibes for sure. But I do hope that you enjoyed the video, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on these or really any other bad zombie movies. And if you've got a recommendation that might fit in a list like this in the future, then I'm always looking for new films to watch, so let me know in the comments. As always, if you've had a good time, then don't forget to like and subscribe. And a huge thanks to all of the extra support that I get from my YouTube members. If you'd like to join the membership, then it's only $2.99 a month, and you'll get a credit at the end of these videos, and my everlasting love. And eventually some other stuff too, but I don't know, it's kind of, that's in the future. Nothing ready to be announced quite yet, but I do have some plans for the membership program eventually. But yeah, thank you all who made it this far, and until next time, you all stay safe out there, and happy watching. Bye-bye.
I love animals.